Welcome back to the Chowtime Pod. It's your host, Red. I got a video today from Alpha Anthem. Newer channels, doing well. He's at 2,000. I wanted to give him some more support. The rise of invisible women. Finally. Women feel how men feel all of our lives, most of the men at least, when they get to a certain age. And they still can't grasp what's going on. So please subscribe down below. I'd really appreciate that. And let's get to that chow. It's chow time.
I think one of the hardest parts about dating as a bigger girl is feeling like you're never given a fair chance. The
majority of men in their 20s feel the same way. They are invisible to women. Let's hear her reasoning.
Gym bro saying, just lose weight. But last night I had this memory pop into my mind and I was thinking about it and I was like, wait a second. A couple of years ago, I was out at a bar with a couple of my friends and me and my one friend had met these guys and we were kind of talking to them, and the one I was kind of talking to that night and I was like, oh, he's kind of cute. The second he laid eyes on my other friend, he was so much more into her, to the point where they literally dated, had a full relationship. And for me, it's whatever. I would never want to be with a guy who was ever in the slightest more attracted to any of my friends. Though because they ended up dating, I would see him a lot. And one of the times I saw him, we were talking just about the night that we had all met, and he was like, oh yeah, I remember the first night, I think I was talking to you for a little bit at first. And I don't think he meant it in any certain type of way. We were just literally talking about that night. But in that moment, it really made me think I really feel sometimes I just don't get a fair chance compared to my friends.
So basically, they...
So then work on yourself. If you could tell and you have these issues that you feel you're a bigger girl, then work on yourself. This is what men have to do to get noticed and do these things. You think you just gotta just keep going about it the way you're doing it?
They just talked, nothing much. Women are ruthless when choosing someone to be with. They usually go for the top 10%.
Mm-hmm.
It's fair enough for the top 10% men to choose whoever they want from these massive pool of women.
I have a little story for you. So you reach a certain age, you're kind of invisible. It's just the way it goes. I'm okay with it. I don't need people to see all the travesty that goes on in my life. Yeah. Okay with being a little bit invisible. But today, I'm walking past pharmacy and there's a guy sitting down to get his blood pressure taken. And he's like, how does this thing work? And I'm like, I don't know. I'll get a pharmacist. They can help you out. He goes, yeah, I'm just feeling a little dizzy. I want to check my blood pressure. So I'm like, cool. And he looks at me and he says, are you a model? Or did you model? And I'm like, you know what? Thank you. No, I'm not a model. Did I model? Circa 1999, probably don't count. It still was nice being asked. When people say things like, when she was younger, she was probably really attractive. It's not a compliment. But this was, because he didn't exactly use past tense. He kind of used present/past. Thinking about that story though, he was dizzy. I'll take it.
That's sad that you don't even get noticed for someone to finally, an older person that's trying to check their blood pressure, ask you if you were a model or were a model. It makes your day. That's how invisible women get when they get to a certain age nowadays. And it's kind of sad that, women don't warn each other of these things. There's a lot of women that are going to be hitting these ages that men are just completely going to ignore. Because why? There's always younger women out there.
Just not easy for the woman when she hits a certain age. We're talking about women who've kind of had this high life and then they've stopped getting offers because maybe now she's hit 38, 40. And then it's almost like they've kind of gone into this dark hole now. It's so toxic. It's horrible.
Well, here's the thing. Most men don't feel sorry for those women, and I'll tell you why. The reason men don't feel sorry for them is because the experience that she begins to go through when she's older is the experience 90% of men go through every single day. The guy who works at the post office, the guy who helped you pack your bag, the guy who delivered your Amazon parcel, the guy in your class, the guy that you worked with. Most guys are invisible. It is only the high value guys that catches women's attention. The guy who's tall, attractive, and shaped, successful. So when women who have had that taste of the high life, have been that desirable, gotten all the attention, everything, they then get to a point where now they're being treated how most guys are treated. Guys don't feel sorry for them.
I think this is a good, awesome take, and I think this is where Karens are born. women that have had this high life, that get older, they actually can't comprehend why they're not getting that attention anymore. They're just like, everybody used to do everything for me. All the men used to fall over and do things for me, but now everyone treats me like crap. And I don't understand why people are treating me like crap. And it's because you're older and men are not falling over for you anymore, but they just assume that men are hating them or people are hating on them now, when it's just their attractiveness has just gone away.
A lot of guys feel that if you wanted to have a partner, have a family, and settle down, you get to that point in life and you haven't done that, it's because you definitely had an abundance of opportunity to do that. It's very difficult for a lot of guys to have sympathy, because for a lot of guys it's like, this is how it's been for us since day one. And most of us don't even get to a point where we can attract a girl like you. You've been there, you've had the chance to get those guys, but because you decided to play around, maybe you didn't want it serious, and that's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but you have to accept what comes with the path that you choose.
That face shows a woman who has spent her entire adult life with absolutely zero empathy or understanding for the men in her life. This guy actually dropped some facts she might never heard of.
Yep.
As always, the comments never disappoint. The first comment says, is spitting facts about how it feels to be a man at this age. Not fun when the shoes are on the other foot. I don't feel sad for these types of women because they never feel anything for what they did. They ignore the gentleman, but their legs are wide open for thugs. They're just getting a taste of their own medicine, which is called the wall. They did it to themselves. I'm just going to live my life. As a 29-year-old...
That's most of the men in my comments. You guys are ruthless, which is I'm not sad about it or like upset about it. Like, you guys are allowed to have your opinions about these types of women, and yeah, most of you guys don't give a fuck and would never give these women the time of day nowadays, which is good on you guys.
Year-old man that's about to turn 30. It's crazy how now I'm more visible than ever. I went through hell in my teens and most of my 20s though. Basically all the women in my age range. All the fun they had, it's slowing down for them. Meanwhile, I'm now just entering that era of my life. Only difference is I worked for it, earned it, and paid for it in what seems like a lifetime of pain. I'm really, truly grateful. It's so good to be here.
I would say at around the age of 45, I started noticing that the way I was perceived was slightly different than what I had become used to. And then I would put photos of myself in bikinis. All of a sudden I started getting the influx of, are you a little desperate there, Grandma? How about you cover up and spare us the look of your poor aging body? I was sort of getting relinquished to the invisible women category. It dawned on me that when you walk down the street, when you're a younger woman, it's like every man passes you and goes, is she fuckable? Now you can most definitely walk down the street without having anybody bounce anything off of you. Like, people will literally just walk into you. And you...
Isn't this what women wanted? They didn't, they thought, men were the pigs and just constantly sexualizing women all the time. Now you've gotten what you wanted. Men aren't sexualizing you anymore. You don't get attention anymore. This is what women are complaining about. Just get to a certain age and they'll stop.
You think, hold on a second. I am actually a far more interesting person than I've ever been.
So guys, this lady is a former supermodel called Paulina Pariskova. She was an epitome of beauty in the 1980s. She got married to a famous millionaire 20 years older than her. After he predictably passed long before her, she's back to dating and very upset at the dating market. She is angry that women her age are invisible. Let's sample some few comments. No amount of tweeting or Instagram articles will make a 50-year-old attractive to a 20-year-old unless he has a fetish. She lived her whole life carefree by selling her appearance for money, dating models and celebrities, travelling around the world. During that time, 99% of men were invisible to her. She has lived a better life than most people. I am glad that life has a sense of irony. I concluded that she has been spoiled and hasn't grown up. She gets what she deserves. Reality check. When I was 20 and completely broke, chicks wouldn't even spit on me. I had to work out and look my best to attract girls, which worked out decently well because I was pretty confident and also looking good. Almost 9 years later, I'm doing pretty good. I have what I want, a big apartment in the city, and I just bought a piece of land on which I want to build my house.
Nice.
But the bottom line is, a whole new market opened up for me. It's crazy how things work. Invisibility works in different directions for men and women. So guys, focus on yourself, work hard and keep distractions to a minimum, and things will work out well.
Whew, that was some good chow, you know. Young men out there, this is just kind of showing you guys, women are only at the peak when they're in their early ages. Once they get older, they're going to be looking, scrambling for men to settle down with. And when you're at your peak, don't just settle. You'll have much more options. You have much more women to be able to pick and choose from. Pick and choose wisely. You know, if you're young and you have a girl that's stuck with you throughout this time, doing things for you and help supporting you, that might be the woman for you. There's very few women that are willing to do those things. A lot of these women are just going to wait at the end of the finish line, hoping that you'll accept them at those ages, which there's plenty of men that do. Please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that, and I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.